what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into the Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 154. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Fubu87. Burley is internetless at the moment, so he's he's at his parents' house. So I'm sure he's probably got a lot of things to say about that. And then Fubu, he just came back from a birthday party. So apologies in advance. This episode might be a little rowdy in a sense. But how you guys doing, man?
I came from a birthday party. I'm kind of drunk, so I'm good. And I'm joking. I'm full. I got my belly full. I'm feeling very well with the best people on the internet, with you guys. So loving it here.
Yeah. Burley, how you doing?
Well, to help Fubu out, Super Chats help sober Fubu up. So if you want to sober up, Super Chat.
Yes. Also, if you join the Patreon right now, I'm going to be cured like that. If you join the Patreon.
There you go.
All right.
No, I've had a week. I've lost some hair because of it. Just I had roofers at my apartment building. They didn't tell the on-site super that they had to cut the internet lines for one of the two providers, the provider that I use, the good provider. So they had to cut it. So I found out midday Monday at 2:30 in the afternoon that no internet. And I'm a guy that works from home and I do IT and stuff like that. And I've got customers and clients and vendors calling me on my cell phone. I got to answer and tell my coworkers, hey, I'm out of internet, and trying to figure it all out. End up having to leave and go to my parents and work off my parents' internet and all that, and work off a laptop instead of my desktop and my multiple screens and all. Oh, it's been a week, but tomorrow they're coming to reconnect the line because the roofers are all done apparently, and so it can be all reconnected. But it's been fun.
Yeah. So you're like me, Burley. You're burning the midnight oil, when it comes to work, So
Yes.
Speaking of midnight, it is midnight out here in Japan. So burning the midnight oil every week with everybody here on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. We got a great show for you this week. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us 2 Remastered. We got some roguelite elements coming in with it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the PlayStation Portal sales in Spain. The rain in Spain. So Fubu, I'm sure you got a lot to say about that. We're going to be talking about Call of Duty 2024. We got some information on that as well. And we're going to be talking about, the December lineup, everything that's coming. Well, not every single game that's coming. There's too many to talk about in one show. But some of the most anticipated games for December, as well as the lineup for December when it comes to the gaming industry. We're going to talk about that. So we got a great show for you. But before we get into all that, and before we talk about the games we've been playing this past week, here is a brief word about where you can find this podcast in audio and video formats.
Discuss what they have been playing. This episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearenaproductions for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version, it will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Productions, where you can join and chat with the Arena Productions community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.com. arena.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena Productions. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the games we've been playing. I'll start first. I'm still playing Gaiden, the Man Who Erased His Name. It's such a fun game. I love all the Ryuga Gotoku games, of course. But Gaiden is, it's another Kazuma Kiryu, story. And I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody who might be playing it. I'm getting close to the end. But what I really love about this game is they have it's kind of like an arena, the arena, it's like you go onto this like cargo vessel, it's like you get on a helicopter and go to a cargo vessel, and then they have this like big, it almost looks like an amusement park worth of, like hostess clubs, and then they have like a miniature Osaka castle, which is a part of this arena that you go into. And the thing that is important about fighting in this arena is that it builds up your skill points and all, and you have to choose particular fighters that you're going to fight with. And so I'm like picking just these like nerds, like these like salaryman nerds and stuff like that, and just going in there and just whooping everybody. It's so cool, man. I mean, just doing that and having fun with it. And then you can pick between all these different masks to wear, because Kiryu is in the game. Of course, he's not supposed to reveal his true identity. And so if people find out who he really is in this arena, then there's trouble, right? So he has to wear like a mask or something. And so, in the beginning, you get this really cheesy looking like wrestling mask, that's pink and white, it's supposed to be like a joke, but I just selected, what the hell, I'm going to wear it, and I'm just going in there with these salaryman nerd guys and just whooping everybody. It's really cool. So, and just going around Osaka and helping the homeless and beating up thugs and stuff like that. That's the fun of the game. So yeah, I'm still playing that. I'm almost finished with it. And then after that, I'm going to jump back in and talk more about Tactica. So Persona 5 Tactica. But anyway, Fubu, you still playing that soccer game? Yeah, the football game.
Yeah,
yes, of course.
The usual too.
Yeah,
the usual too. And now I'm focusing on Final Fantasy 16. And
nice.
Wow, what a game! What a game! I keep saying this, and I will defend this. I understand the Final Fantasy. I don't think it should be a numbered Final Fantasy, because it doesn't feel like the traditional Final Fantasy. I would have put something like Iconic Wars, a Final Fantasy story, and it's actually iconic. It's Icon, and because it's the icons in the game, which is the two summons fighting. I already did the first fight where life turns into Ifrit, and you have to fight the Garuda, and wow, it's so good. It's so good. It's a fantastic game. The only thing I really have to say is I don't think this should be a numbered Final Fantasy, but that's a mute point. It's I don't consider it, but no, you see, he's training his Jedi powers again on me. But no, it is a great game. I'm loving, and I do understand why Ben Starr won the prize for best voice acting, because it's fantastic what he's doing. I had the part like he's being very gruff, and then he finds a girl that's crying, and he almost changes his personality, becomes like a soft puppy talking, so the girl isn't afraid of him. There's a lot of versatility in him. He's not one noted character.
Oh, I'm thinking, Fubu. I'm thinking Final Fantasy, when it gets to 20. Then I think they'll start to consider probably getting rid of the numbers and just having like a title, for the games after that. Because once you get to like Final Fantasy 29, it's like, come on.
You'll have to play everything again. People will think, oh, it's a number, I'll have to play it since the beginning. But no,
right.
I don't understand that. They did that with the Marvels, the Marvel universe. They went with Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, but then they decided to different. For example, Captain Marvel, the Marvels 2, sorry, Captain Marvel 2. It's not Captain Marvel 2. It's the Marvels 2, but it's with Captain Marvel. So they did that with the university using numbers.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Burley, it's your turn. What have you been playing?
Well, I was going to say, before we get to what I was playing here, Fubu, I wait till you get a little farther in the game, and then I think you'll understand why 16 should be considered a main line. Just wait till you get far. That's all I'll say. And
Okay. Next week we'll have a chat about this again.
exactly.
Yeah.
But classically, Final Fantasy hasn't been that way since like 9, where it's truly like that. Because like 10, you have the Maxa and all that, the Machina and all that. They've been that way since 10 forward, but like I think 16 is back more to the fantasy elements on it. But I haven't been playing as much because of my situation, but I did end up platinuming Spider-Man 2, finishing off all the side content and all that. It took me over 30 hours to get the platinum on it.
Nice.
It was a very, very fun time, and I must say, like, when you do go for the stuff and you see what they set up and what they're setting up for the next game and games further with all the side stuff, it's like, oh, I cannot wait. Give Insomniac all the time they need to just keep setting up. But I ended up playing some Baldur's Gate 3, getting a little bit farther in there on the Steam Deck.
Didn't Wolverine get like a release window from Insomniac?
There's been rumors. I haven't seen anything official. Yeah. There might have been something official, but I'm hearing 2025.
Yeah,
which is, hey, if they get it out 2025, there's so many people saying, no, it's a 2024 game. I don't care when it's released.
No.
Whenever the game gets released, I'll be playing it.
Yeah.
But just Insomniac, I know will take their time and get the game out in a good state and ready to play.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking 2025 at the earliest.
Yeah.
It could be pushed into 2026. Who knows? It's a long ways off though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be what develop goes. If it goes well, there's no issues with
right.
I don't know, a new pandemic or whatever. If there's no issues like that, I think late 2024 or so for the holiday season. I think like in 1 year probably.
We shall see. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of a game that is coming out in 2024, guys. Yeah. So The Last of Us Part 2 remastered is coming. Yeah, and it's coming early in 2024. So we got some details pertaining to it. And I'll go ahead and put the link here for all of you video viewers. For you audio listeners from gamingbolt.com. Last of Us 2 Remasters roguelike mode, no return. So I'm going to read a little bit of that for you. So after weeks and months of consistent leaks, Naughty Dog and Sony finally officially announced The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered for the PlayStation 5 and confirmed that one of its most significant additions will be No Return, a new roguelike survival mode that will allow players to play as multiple unlockable characters, many of whom have never been playable in past Last of Us titles. So that's really cool. So you're not going to be constricted to only playing Ellie or in any of the other main characters. You're going to be able to choose from other people as well. And another cool thing about this is you're going to be able to play parts of Jackson that you were never able to play in The Last of Us Part 2. So, and this being roguelite as well is pretty interesting. So it's coming out on PS5 on January 19th. And it was also confirmed that those who own the original game on PS4 will be able to upgrade to the remaster for $10 rather than having to pay full price. So that is a bit of good news for that. So Burley, I'll start with you. What do you think of this roguelike element and no return? And are you excited to play it now?
Well, you know what? Good on them for at least they're adding stuff, because like we've been hearing rumors and leaks for this for, I don't know, a year and a half or whatever it's what it's been. This is I'm glad they're adding stuff to it, and multiple new playable characters. Great, that's good. Roguelike element. I'm not the huge on roguelites, but hey, it's something. It has me considering, especially it's only $10 US. For Canadians, we don't know how much it's going to be. So probably like 45. I'm just kidding on that. Kidding on that. It'd probably be like $15 for us Canadians, but hey, that's at least they're going smart on the pricing, and they do have a cool little. If you buy the physical, you're getting a bunch of little goodies with the different like patches and I think a few of the cards, if I'm not mistaken, because I know that was one of the collectibles in Last of Us 2 with the different cards.
Right.
Maybe hey, one thing they should do for a small spoiler in the game, have it when you get to that section, Ellie steals the Vita, because that was just stupid. She would have took the Vita. I think we all would agree on that.
Yeah.
But I am considering, and I bought the game last year for like $10 around the Black Friday sale. I never played it yet, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I eventually will try it on the PS4 on my PS5. But I'm curious to see these lost levels and more guitar playing stuff and stuff. So I'll probably end up picking it up for the $10 upgrade just to see, and hopefully the content is good.
You know what I'd love? I'd love to play like as a bloater. I mean, not as a character, but as one of the the infected. I mean, that would be really cool, but that's not going to happen.
And equal survivors. Yeah.
There you go.
I'd love to play as a bloater, just running around, and just tearing people up, but that's not going to happen. Fubu, your thoughts?
I want to go with Burley's idea, and I want to expand. Ellie steals the PS Vita, and she can play Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Uncharted Golden Abyss, yeah.
I'm liking where you're going with it.
Hey, I think that would be fun. Like a game inside the game. I think that would be something unique that would make people go
because it's got to be Naughty Dog, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Remember
Uncharted 4?
Yes, exactly. You could play Crash Bandicoot. One of the best levels, to be honest. It was really, really, really fun. So what I have to say about this. First of all, I do agree with the price. I think the $10 US probably going to be 20 euros here in Europe, maybe 10 euros if they want to keep the same number. But I do like the price. I do understand why this is 10 euros and the Last of Us remake was the full price, because again, it's in the name. It's a remake. The part 1. They started the engine. It's the same game, but the engine, there was a lot of work in it. I'm not justifying, I'm just saying I understand the price difference. But we already agreed that here that Uncharted 2 was not necessary. Sorry, The Last of Us 2 was not necessary game. I think if we stayed on The Last of Us 1 would have been enough. But when it comes to gameplay, The Last of Us 2 is a masterpiece. It's a really good game to play. It is really good.
Oh, yes.
I like what they did. Yeah, it's a really good game. That I won't discuss. It's a very good game.
Some would argue that it's better than the first game, but
in terms of gameplay, it is. The story is not. It's far from good compared for the first one.
Gameplay for sure.
No, gameplay. I still remember when you're doing the last part. I'm forgetting the other girl's name, the one that calls Joel. I'm forgetting her name now.
Abby.
But there's a scene.
Abby.
Abby. Thank you. When you are running with the horse and like the full village is on fire, that is a cinematic masterpiece. That's very beautiful. I'm
definitely.
Like the only complaint from me the story, because gameplay is really good. But since I already mentioned Uncharted Golden Abyss, I did that on purpose, because here's my idea. If they want to sell Game Busters, do a small what if where you put Nathan Drake in the Last of Us world and he has to do the roguelike. I think people would go crazy with that. And about the roguelike, there used to be a fever when it came to roguelikes, like Rogue Legacy. I love that game. It's really good. I always like to play roguelikes. And that's something that's not going to make me buy a full game, but I would probably pay 10 euros to play a roguelike with the gameplay from the left.
If they do something like that, then Abby has to go into Uncharted 5.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah. She joins like Nathan or his brother Sam, and goes off
his
on
daughter.
an adventure. Or it could be a mentor to the daughter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I want Lara Croft to be the mentor to the daughter. I mean, that's,
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
I do like the price, the game mode. I do like that on the Last of Us 2. Still not a necessary game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, because I did play the PS5 port of the first game. I call it a port because as someone that I never played the PS3 version, but I played the parts of the PS4 version. The only things new with that were some accessibility stuff, the adaptive triggers. They did use the adaptive triggers a bit, so I'm hoping to see more of that with part 2, especially because I know with part 2 they enhance the gameplay. So I'm really hoping, because that's something I love with the DualSense, is those adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback and all that. You give me that with because I know I can't remember if it's Abby or Ellie. One of them gets a bow for a weapon. I think it's Ellie.
I think it's Ellie. I think
Ellie.
Yeah, because she had a bow from the first game. So
let us know in the comments, but I think it's Ellie. But
now we got another Archer on the PS5. We just we need Ellie versus Aloy.
Yeah, there you go.
Archery contest,
Aloy,
downloadable game.
Yeah, well,
Come on, Sony, I'm giving you ideas here.
Yeah. For me personally, the parts of Jackson that we did not see in The Last of Us Part 2, that they're implementing into the remaster, I'm really interested to see that and where you can explore in Jackson. That's the most interesting part for me, to get back and jump into this game again. Because I mean, playing The Last of Us Part 2, it's a masterpiece, and there are some games that they are so good that I just don't want to play again, because I got the full experience and the impact was so enormous on that particular game that I'll remember it forever. It's just, I don't need to play it again. I kind of felt like that with the first game, but the first game also kept me just wondering, what the hell did I just, witness here? And going into the second game, I mean, I felt that there was closure to it, but now there's all the talk that Naughty Dog is already working on 3, and they're just keeping their mouths shut about it at the moment. Yeah, I mean, but I'd love to see the parts of Jackson that I did not see. I mean, if there's something that was not implemented and they cut out of the first, game in the remaster, sure, I'll go back to it and see what I didn't see in the first time, playing it. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah. All right, it's time to move on. So we got an interesting story here. So Burley threw this to me. PlayStation Portal sales in Spain were nearly 3 times higher than Xbox Series X and Series S last week. So I'm wondering, what the significance of this is, especially for the Portal. I mean, is this going to be kind of a look at what is ahead for the Portal when it comes to sales internationally? That's something we can all speculate on, I guess. But Fubu, you're close to Spain.
Yeah.
So why is this story important?
Like we say here in Portugal, we say that Spanish is our brothers, nuestros hermanos.
Yes,
it's our brothers because just the geography of where Portugal and Spain is, we're next to each other. And there's just a little stretch of land that connects to the rest of Europe. We are a peninsula in itself, a very big one. So our culture is very, very similar. When it comes, my opinion about this, first, I don't think people understand what the PS Portal is. I don't think they think it's a gaming, like it's not for remote, it's to play PlayStation games on your hands.
Like a Vita.
Like a Vita. I think it wasn't marketed well, my opinion. Saying that, I think I would kill someone right now to have a portal with me. I think I would do that. No, okay, not kill. But okay, there's
Good. You're going to the dark side.
Oh, come on, Burley.
no, there's a very I think a simple answer for this, which is me in Portugal. I've always had the PlayStation since I remember. I had the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and so on. When Xbox entered the market, the PlayStation brand was so ingrained in in this case in Europe, that a brand like Xbox coming is a foreigner, and we don't accept that well foreigners. Xbox is a big thing in America. Why? Because it's an American product. That's why the PlayStation is a very big product in Japan, because it is a Japanese product. I feel that's the way I see things. So I think that the reason why it's selling so much is because it is a Sony item. The PSVR also did sell very well in Europe, and also like Jim Ryan was trying to do, it's the ecosystem, and you want to be inside the ecosystem. But before I finish, I did find something very, very interesting. I went to the NASDAQ website. The NASDAQ is like the Wall Street. It controls the stocks and the market and so on. And this is
particularly for the tech industry, yes.
Exactly. And this is a news article from the 23, so 2 days ago. Well, for Expat, it's 3 days. It's already not the 26, right? So he's in the future. But in the last week, the Xbox sales declined 52%. The Nintendo dropped 20%. And what happened with the PlayStation 5? Anyone want to guess? I'm going to say that. Okay.
It rolls. I'm good.
It rolls 143%. That is one hell of a rise. And this is in Europe. Now, I'm not talking about Spain. I'm talking in Europe. Where I'm just to say what I was completing what I was saying before. The PlayStation brand is really big here in Europe. I got a lot of, like, I've never looked at an Xbox. I don't feel like buying an Xbox. I got the PlayStation. Rather buy a Nintendo again than buy an Xbox, for example. So the PlayStation brand is really big, and like Jim Ryan was trying to do, it's make the ecosystem so people buy it. I'm not 100% sure that people know what it is, because we know what it is because we are inside this. We like this. We live this. But the common people that might not understand what it is, and what counts as the sales. If they return it, they care. But it's sold this amount, and that's very important. It doesn't matter if half of it was returned because people didn't know what they were buying. So I don't think there's a story there.
I have a question for you, Fubu.
Yeah.
During the Xbox 360 era, how were sales in your area?
Well, a lot of people, I remember at the time, a lot of people did buy the Xbox. This is when Xbox, Microsoft started to gain some terrain, because the Xbox was cheaper than the PlayStation. It was way cheaper. I remember it was 600 euros, which was basically a paycheck at the time. Now it's, but it was 600 euros. The PlayStation 3 was, and the Xbox was about 400 euros, so 200 euros less. And people that wanted to play the new gen, they went with the Xbox. That's when Xbox gained some terrain. But when PlayStation 4 came out, and the next Xbox, the Xbox One, right? That was the one.
Yeah.
PlayStation was cheaper than the Xbox One. Didn't have to pay to play online. Now it's reversed. But at that time, the PlayStation started to gain some terrain again. Because people will, the way I see it, of course, this is my experience here in Europe, people will always flock to what they are used to. They are used to Sony products. They are used to the PlayStation. They're used to the home screen. They're used to everything. So if it's something strange, we'll avoid it, unless you put it like really cheap and like people, okay, I'll give it a go. But the early adopters usually tend to go to PlayStation, then Xbox, and then they influence people to buy the PlayStation. Because if someone comes, should I buy a PlayStation or an Xbox? First, I'm going to say it. I always had a PlayStation. I don't know about the Xbox. PlayStation never failed me. Xbox, I don't know. So between the two, just buy a PlayStation. That's much better. And I'm going to tell you now, I don't have one friend. This is the last part. I don't know one person that has an Xbox. One.
Okay.
You know, me and Expat.
Well, here in the island. I'm here in the island.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it comes to the marketing of the PlayStation 4 era, and I'll say this like I've said before many times. When the PlayStation 4 came out, they just destroyed Xbox with marketing and all of their their showcases that they did and everything. People getting into gaming for the first time. I mean, they bought a PlayStation. And then we also forget to mention also the debacle with the Kinect. It's
always online and all.
Always online, and with the Kinect and all, and
they shot themselves in the foot before
in the foot. Yep, exactly.
Before the system came out, and then when they literally said all that stuff and said you can't use used games, Sony 5 minutes,
boom,
5 minutes later had that. Here's how you play used games. Two guys passing the disc between each other.
Yes,
that was two Sony execs or something like that. But you're like, it's that simple.
Yeah,
that killed Xbox for the first year and a half. Just all that bad.
Yeah, and that's all it took. That's all it took, because that defined the entire generation. And now it's taking time. Xbox is starting to catch up. Especially in the United States, globally. I mean, it's going to take a long time, but I mean. When it comes to here in Japan, Nintendo is still number one, obviously. PlayStation. Speaking of the Portal, you still can't find them in electronic stores. I was in Yodobashi today, and you still can't get a Portal. They're all sold out.
They're sold out here in Canada. You can't. Like, if I wouldn't have pre-ordered mine when I did, I wouldn't have one. They're sold out, and I agree with you, Fubu, that on them it's not as clear for everyone. You have to be really techie, because I don't have my Portal on me or the box, or I would show you. On one side of the thing says in kind of small font, "Remote player needs a PS5," and the other one's like remotely
and an internet connection.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not surprised that the Portal is selling well.
Yeah.
It is. I will admit that I was hoping to have this video done by now and have this up on the podcast, up on the YouTube channel, but we will. But a small spoiler: this is a niche device, but for people like me, it fits. It all depends on what your internet. There's a few factors on this.
I'm wondering, though, Burley, in the next year or so, if they do upgrade this Portal to where you can use it like a Vita and you can play PS5 games on it.
Well, they have backpedaled a little and said, like, because there's, with the premium, if you pay for the premium membership, you can do PS5 game streaming. And so they have kind of backpedaled and said, well, that is on two different servers, that and remote play. Yeah. So it's giving people hope that we get that. If we get this to this device in a future update, whether it's 6 months, a year or two down the road, this will really help the use case. Because I would love that. Because I have good internet at both my apartment when it's up. I have good internet, and at my parents' here, I have good internet. So it's like, great. This would just make this more and more sweet. Oh, I just want to play a little bit of this.
Yeah, I mean, if I could play PS5 games on it, just without having to have my PS5 on to play remotely. I mean, like playing games on the Vita, then it would be something that would be useful for me, and I would be interested in purchasing. But right now, with only the remote play type of functionality, it's just, I don't need it. I don't.
No,
my suggestion. No. Sorry to interrupt, but before we move on, my suggestion with this, and I think it would be the perfect PlayStation. Well, I'm not going to say saver because it's selling a lot, but what I would do is you'd need some storage, of course, but I don't know if this is possible, but if there's a will, there's a way. For example, let's say Resident Evil 4, which is separated by chapters. Maybe you could download, let's say, chapter 3 to 5. You download those 3 chapters, and you can put it in the storage on your PS Portal, and you take it and you can play offline only those chapters, because you don't have more room to play. So like, I'll have time to, let's say on my lunch break, I can play for half an hour. It's more than enough to play a little bit of those 2 chapters, and you could play that offline. You don't need no remote play, no internet connection. You just have that part of the game stored in the PS Portal memory, and you play that. And when you're finished, you go back home, you upload by the cloud, you upload that stretch of game up the save point, goes to the cloud, and then you enter the PlayStation and you can start from where you left before. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. Yeah.
Sony, hire me.
All right. Let us know in the comments if you're interested in getting a PlayStation Portal, and if you have one, how do you like it so far? And of course, Burley will be making a video on it, and we'll be putting it up on the YouTube channel when that is ready. So stay tuned for that.
And be sure to join the Patreon so you can get it first.
Yes, ad-free. Yes, ad-free. Ad-free and, yes, early access. Yeah. All right. So next up, Call of Duty, guys. So we got some information from our friend Jez Gordon over at Windows Central. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming next year. So I will put the link to the story here from Windows Central, and I'll go ahead and read a little bit of it for you. So next Call of Duty is indeed another entry in the long-running Black Ops series focused on the CIA. The next Black Ops is set in the Gulf War and will examine the United States' role in the conflict. Previous leaks point to a return of round-based zombie modes and remastered maps from previous Call of Duty Black Ops entries. And Treyarch is the developer in charge of this one. So my question to you guys, we talked about this a few weeks ago, Burley, when we were talking with COG about Call of Duty games coming to Game Pass. And obviously we have found out now that we're not getting any Call of Duty. We're not getting any of the Activision Blizzard games until 2024 on Game Pass. But will this be the first Call of Duty game to be on Game Pass day one? Burley, your thoughts?
This because I knew you were going to ask this question. I knew this question that was coming.
Well, of course,
I don't think this is going to be the first game of a new Call of Duty coming, because I think it's going to take a while for, even though Microsoft now owns them, Activision Blizzard is going to fight back on this, because they're not going to be like, they want Call of Duty has always sold day one, all those pre-orders, those day one sales. They make a killing off this. This is their biggest IP they have. So it's gonna take a while for a brand new Call of Duty to come day one on Game Pass. I don't think this one will be it. But I'm just curious, after this one, how many more do we have planned that are in the pipeline of, do we have one set for 2025 and 2020 or one for 2026? Or are we going to finally take a small break on this series and have them come like every 2-3 years even?
Well, let me read just a little bit more of the details that Jez gave to us in this article. He says, according to multiple sources familiar with Activision's plans, Call of Duty 2024 will sport the Black Ops moniker and once again follow some of the West's more shadowy military dealings in global conflict scenarios. Black Ops 6 will take place during the Gulf War, which was the first major conflict between Saddam Hussein's Iraq and a coalition of U.S.-led militaries. U.S. President George Bush Sr. and U.K. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher deployed troops alongside Egypt and Saudi Arabia into Iraq after the Hussein regime invaded Kuwait in what formed the largest coalition of military since World War II. I was in college at the time when that happened. It also charted a new notorious for its live media coverage. The war also featured some of America's largest ever tank battles in an era before drone warfare. Indeed, Black Ops 6 will lean back into more traditional military combat technology, and familiar Black Ops' gadgetry, as opposed to the current and near future tech we've seen from Modern Warfare and some of the other recent Call of Duty titles. From what we've been told, Black Ops 6 will attempt to explore a nuanced narrative of the Gulf War with a critical focus on different participants within the conflict. It will dovetail into the end of the Cold War era and explore some of the consequences therein. So, Fubu, I'll shift it over to you. What do you think of all of this? And from my beginning question, do you think this will be the first Call of Duty that goes to Game Pass day one?
No, I don't think it's going to be the first one because the deal wasn't sealed that long ago. And like we had a conversation in the podcast a few weeks ago, this is a very, very big deal. I think there's some details they let it slip, like they didn't want to focus on that. Maybe the next one in 2025, maybe that one because I'll have more time. But I don't think this one will be it. I think it's going to take some time. About the game itself, I did play some codes, played the Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. Then when it started going really futuristic, my favorite Call of Duty, it is Black Ops 1, where you do it's the Vietnam War, I think. And I really, really love that one. There's a level you go inside the cave and you have a flamethrower and you're just burning everyone that was right. No. But this, I'm really, really worried. You know, this game, what it means? This game is covering a war in our lifetime. We are getting old. In 10 years, we're doing the Call of Duty Ukraine versus Russia. You'll see. It's going to cover real life wars. We're getting old. That's the worry part for me. That's not good. No, but it is a good battle to cover because like the second Gulf War in the 2000s, there was a lot of reasons why they did what they did at the time. I don't remember. I was a kid. I was like 5 or 6 years old when that happened. So I remember watching something on the news, but I don't know why it ended. I don't know any of that. And if they keep it historically accurate, it might be, besides a good time of playing some online combat, the story mode might teach a bit of history. And I think it's important to learn the lessons from the past. So I do like the Gulf War theme for the Call of Duty game.
Yeah, I think there was a recent game. The title doesn't come to mind at the moment, but it was set during the war in Afghanistan, and they had to delay that game because of the criticisms to it. I forget the title. If you know it, let us know in the comments. But
I think I remember it was like Day of Fallujah, I think was the name.
Yeah, the Fallujah. Yeah, and that had a lot of criticism to it, and they delayed it for a few times, I think it was. But I don't think that's going to happen with Call of Duty, though. Yes, it's too big. It's too big of a cash cow for something like that to happen. But there will be criticisms. But from what Jez here says here in the article is that Treyarch has put the most amount of time into the development of this particular Call of Duty game than any other Call of Duty game. So it'll be interesting to see how well this plays out. But so
you're saying it won't be a 2-hour like Modern Warfare 3 campaign with 2 hours of gameplay, 2 hours of cutscenes, and it feels like DLC?
No,
I don't think so.
That was
it'll be 8 hours and many cutscenes. Yeah, it's going to be it'll probably a longer title than the previous few games, but I mean, don't be surprised if this is day one Game Pass next year. I mean, I'm thinking that Microsoft is really going to push hard to get this day one. I mean, because it's going to come out next year and probably in late October, early November. So they're going to want to get it out, and we'll see what happens. But I'm excited to see what happens with it. But and I'm excited to see the sales, for this particular era of Call of Duty game. So
Yeah.
Well, if this is a day one, I'm pretty sure Game Passes are going to fly on Xbox. If it is a day one, it's going to fly. I love it because a lot of people, and to be honest, it's a lot of money that Microsoft will win because if you buy the Game Pass day one to play this game day one, they won't want to play anything else. They're only going to play Xbox, the Call of Duty. That's the only thing they're going to play. That's if they did. This is my EA reference of the show. If they gave EA FC on the first day on PlayStation Plus, I wouldn't play anything else. Just give me that game, and I would play it all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All righty. So it's time to move on to our topic of the show. So December is right around the corner, guys. Yeah. So how is Burley and Fubu? Do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving? I think Burley in Canada, it's at a different time, right? So
Yeah, it's in October.
October,
Canadians.
right? October, yeah. How about you, Fubu?
Don't.
Yeah.
No, we
Don't.
No.
Okay.
We do celebrate Black Friday. That we celebrate.
yeah, probably everywhere in the world, yeah, they celebrate about Black Friday now. But I mean, here in Japan, we have a day of thanks. It's like a Kansha no Hi, they call it here in Japan. So and this year it's the same day as Thanksgiving Day in the United States. So yeah. So December. Yeah, next week we start December. So we got a lot of stuff coming. So let's go ahead and jump into the topic of the show. So the December 2023 preview. So we got a lot of stuff coming. The Game Awards obviously is coming on December 7th. We're looking forward to that. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora is coming out on the 7th, as well as the day before. That PC game is coming. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And most likely we're going to get a release window or date for GTA 6 in December, because obviously Rockstar has talked about that. And in most likelihood, we're going to get that during the Game Awards. So we'll talk about that. But first we'll talk about what we're looking forward to the most in December. I'm looking forward to the Game Awards, to seeing who wins Game of the Year and Best RPG. And we talked about that on last week's episode. But I'm excited to see that. Obviously, out here in Japan, it airs like at 3 or 4 in the morning. So I'll be just checking the news on who wins and all. But I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see what famous person, like an actor or whatever, comes out on stage again and maybe gives an award. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we don't get a 25 to 30 minute speech from one winner like we did, what was it, last year? The actor, the voice actor who plays Kratos, he was up there for like 25 minutes talking. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And obviously the boy who came out on stage and talked about Bill Clinton. I mean,
oh god, that just the kid that walked up.
Yeah, I mean, they just these Japanese developers are on the stage, and this kid comes up and he just comes up and grabs the mic at the end. I mean, nobody apprehends him or anything. I mean,
they had no security. Gets up,
no security
for two minutes, and just says his piece, and you got everyone looking around like, is this kid supposed to be here? Like what?
Yeah, he's standing right next to them. It's like you think, oh, he's like an assistant to the develevers,
or is he someone's nephew or adopted kid?
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, something like that. But and then of course there will always be the Kojima watch, because he's like Jeff Keighley's bestest buddy. So I mean, there'll be the Kojima watch and everything. Whether
they'll
he shows
build a
up
shrine for him, and you'll have your 2 minutes of Kojima, and you must praise him and all that.
Yeah. But let's talk a little bit about GTA 6 though. In this though, I mean, we're gonna get a trailer, but do you think we'll get the release date for it? I'm thinking we're gonna get a release date, guys. I mean, I think Rockstar is gonna surprise us here. What do you think? Fubu, I'll start with you.
Come on, it's time to give a release date. This game GTA 5 came on the end of the PlayStation 3. I played it on
Yes.
PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I played it on PlayStation 4, and I was like, no, screw this. I'm not gonna play this on PlayStation 5. I already paid enough for this game. This game already came out a long time ago. I'm not even saying that. They should say the game is out now. Go to the PSN, Xbox Live, or whatever, and it's available now. We can't wait anymore because this game, it's probably we already spoke about highly anticipated games, but for next year, and I said Final Fantasy VII. But if this game is the release date is next year, this is going to be the most anticipated game of next year. Everyone everyone wants to play a Grand Theft Auto game. They want to play the online. The online for GTA 5 was one of the most fun things I've played in a really long time.
Well, who doesn't want to go back to Vice City? I mean, because that's where we're going. We're going back to Vice City and a huge revamped Vice City map.
That's the thing. When everyone tells me which is the best GTA, a lot of people would say San Andreas. Me personally, I prefer Vice City. Vice City, Tommy Vercetti is my favorite. Yeah, the setting, the music. It is amazing. Vice City, and I just if they do it like a modern Vice City, I don't know if it's gonna have the same feel. I think everyone liked Vice City because it had those 80s feels, and everyone was nostalgic for that time, at least for the music. I remember listening to Michael Jackson on Flash FM. It's like one of the best radios. Flash FM. And it was really good because it was the first one that you could do two things. Ride a motorbike, because GTA 3 you couldn't ride a motorbike. And you could fly, like helicopters. And I think there was a hydroplane. You couldn't fly the big planes, but the hydroplane, I remember you could. That's when GTA 4 came out. It was highly disappointing that you couldn't fly a plane itself. But I'm waiting for this game. I really want to play this game.
When I played Vice City, I used to, grab a motorcycle and then just, there would be like a part of the freeway ramp that you could jump off of. And just see how far I could fly on that thing and then die. Of course you're gonna die, right? But still, see how far you could go, But there are rumors also about this game, GTA 6, that Michael and Franklin are going to appear in the game as well. So from GTA 5. So that's interesting because the voice actors have been doing some promotions now. So that's interesting. Looking forward to finding that out. But the main character is going to be female in this story. So I'm really excited to hear about that and to find out more about it. Burley, your thoughts? Are we going to get a release date for GTA 6? And will it be during the Game Awards?
Oh, we're going to get the announcement at the Game Awards, GTA 6. Get that trailer. Whether they get... I'm assuming they're going to give a release date or a release window. We'll get. But this is going to be one of the interesting because Rockstar has taken their time with this, certainly, because I remember this game launched when I was in college. I remember when this launched. I was in college, and I remember guys I went to school with went for the midnight launch for this game because it came out like just the tail end of the PS3 and Xbox 360. It'd be interesting. But the one thing I'm really interested to see, because Rockstar has already they've already said, oh yeah, we're not selling this at normal pricing. So it's like, how is this really going to affect? Like if they put this at the normal or even the new next gen pricing and announced it and said, tomorrow you could download it, there people would go into debt and buy the damn game and be and all that. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with this. The whole online, because they made a ton of money online. So
all right, so let's move on. December 7th, and this game has been in development for a long time. I mean, with Ubisoft, and I remember a couple of years ago, Burley and I and one of our former colleagues, Dan, we were doing the live reactions to the event when they showed this game and Avatar, man. Yeah, it's finally coming. It's coming on December 7th. I'm kind of conflicted about this game. I don't know, man. I mean, you're going to be able to go to the Western frontier. I mean, it's almost like basically the video game version of Avatar: The Way of Water. I mean, that's basically pretty much the premise and what you're going to be doing in this game. Challenges, surprises. Every step you take in this alien world is both amazing and risky. So, I don't know, man. The aerial combat looks interesting, in a sense, but these are just a lot of cutscenes. A lot of the gameplay, I mean, is, still kind of a question mark in a sense. Burley, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the Avatar game coming out on December 7th?
Well, you remember, I'm glad you brought that thing up when we first saw this, because Carl was actually the one in chat. He was before he became a co-host in chat, and he was all excited, and then they were like, "Not first person." And then you heard it in him in the chat. He was not too happy.
Yeah.
This game looks all right from like what I see. It just does not seem. This is a game like, if I'm gonna try this is a buy Uplay for the 1 month and play it that way. Pay the $16, play it that way. See if I enjoy it. It's Far Cry meets Avatar. I know the first game, people actually really enjoyed the first game. I heard good things about the first game. I never played it.
Bose, Burley, Bose. Come on, you got to get Aloy in here. You got to get some DLC with Aloy. Yeah. Aloy comes Aloy comes to Pandora. Yeah.
Get the Aloy sub in only on the PS5.
And then Lara Croft jumps in as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, like graphically the game does look good, but this is just not my style. Like I tried Far Cry 4, I own it, haven't gotten into the game. Mm-hmm. It's just like, so I don't know, with like a small thing here, both Avatar movies, I'm like, visually they look great, but stories, the second one, that did not need to be 3 hours. They could have cut a lot out of that film to make the runtime much better, and I feel the story better.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm curious to see how this game's going to come out, and if it is good, I may, like I said, do the Uplay thing, play it through Uplay, and try it out and see.
Fubu, how about you?
First of all, I had no idea there was a previous Avatar game. Like, I'm learning something new today. I had no idea. I was assuming this was the first Avatar game. I think this game is coming out like 12 or 13 years whenever the first movie came out, too late. Because the game would do gangbusters if it came out during the Avatar craze. Because I remember I went to see the first one at the movies, and it was a great movie. Everyone was crazy about Avatar at the time. It broke a record box office that only Avengers Endgame a few years later they beat that record, and it was really, really hard to beat that record. The game, like in terms of graphics, it's beautiful, but it's like I say, there's no excuse to make an ugly game nowadays because the technology is so advanced. So I think all games should look at least aesthetically pleasing. I think for this game to be a bit different and not a random alien first-person shooter, I think I would go with what Burley said with the Far Cry meets Avatar, and just make it crazy bonkers like Far Cry 3, which is my favorite. Make it crazy bonkers and lots of explosions, a lot of weird stuff, fun stuff. Don't make it so serious, and I think it could be a mild success. But personally, for me, I'm not expecting anything special from this game. It's beautiful, but it looks like a random first-person shooter for me.
Yeah, we shall see. Yeah, interesting stuff. So,
well, the game I think would have done, like, we won't know till how it does till the game comes out. But if this would have came the week 2 came out in theaters, I think this game would do a lot higher sales numbers. We'll have to wait and see. It could do gangbusters and sell 10 million copies in December. because remember, people will still buying Christmas gifts and stuff. So
I'll be honest. I think for Christmas, a lot of people are going to be focusing on games, good games with discounts. Like, let's say the people that didn't buy Spider-Man will buy Spider-Man. People that didn't buy Final Fantasy, they will buy Final Fantasy. People that didn't buy Baldur's Gate, especially if Baldur's Gate wins Best RPG or Best Game of the Year, people are gonna buy that game. So I think because this year was so good when it comes to games, I think this game, as good as this might be, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but as good as it might be, it's going to be left on the side because people are going to focus on the games that came out this year because there were too many good games, and the people, unless you were rich or you have a high-paying job, you can't buy games at full price. Like I said last week, I bought Final Fantasy last week on discount, almost 50%, and I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I had to wait until almost Black Friday, Christmas to buy the game.
Yeah. And then there's Hogwarts Legacy on Switch.
I saw a comparison. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, I know.
Comparing the Hogwarts with PlayStation 5 and Switch. Even my girlfriend, she was watching with me. She was like, "Honey, the water looks so weird." Like, I know. You notice on the water, it's so bad. But I do like something good. They made the fog, so it doesn't show everything. They use that fog, and it gives a different feel to the game. I did enjoy the fog of war, so you don't see the full map. I did enjoy that. Kind of reminds me when I played Warcraft a few years ago.
Right. And then on the same day, we get the day before. Yeah. So on PC. Yeah. So it's an interesting one here. So this information on the game is from gaming.net. So this game takes you to the East Coast of the United States, where you have to survive at all costs. It's all about staying alive, whether that means fighting other players, escaping from scary infected people, or finding valuable items that can help you stay ahead. The game's world, called New Fortune City, is really detailed and fun to explore. So it says, imagine wandering through huge abandoned skyscrapers, shopping malls, and even stadiums. You get to drive around in awesome vehicles to see even more of the city and find cool stuff. So, I mean, it seems to me like it's just another zombie type of shooter. I don't know. What do you guys think? Burley?
Now this gives me Dying Light 2 vibes. Gives me Dead Island vibes. Like, not to say that those are a bad thing, but it just seems like other games I could have played before,
right?
And other games. So it's like I'll keep my eye on it and see how it launches and see how it is. But this is nothing like
kind of like the Division, also. Yeah, the Division when you're going in the streets, like we just saw. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing that I see from this makes me like, I need this day one.
Yeah. Fubu?
Yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit opposite what Burley's saying. I do like this type of game. Like when you play all these types of survival horror games, like where you play, you're like Days Gone, for example. You're playing in open area. There's no very close. I like the fact that this is in a city and you're not in a forest with lots of open spaces. I like this is different, and I think if this game has a multiplayer, I'm gonna buy all of you guys copy and Carl as well, and we're gonna do a stream on Twitch and we're gonna play this game, the four of us together. We're gonna do that together. I think because I do like this type of survival game in the closed area in the city. Don't make it fast paced, make it more technical, make it, let's say, a Last of Us, because it's not a very fast game.
Oh, there you go. There in the bathhouse there. Yeah, just spend most of your time there.
And you can drive the car. I think this game has a lot of potential. I would personally, again, if this is a multiplayer to play with friends, to play by myself, I probably wouldn't play that. By myself, I play EAFC. But anyway, if this has multiplayer, I think this could be a very fun game because you have the survival aspect. And I do like the fact that it is in the city and it's a bit more close. Now I'm seeing images that there is like in in the wilderness, but probably can be like a safe house before you go into the city. It could be something like that. And I do enjoy that. Maybe you just want to goof around and you get a car that makes really loud sound, and you start driving and the monster starts chasing you, and you have like a huge horde behind you, and I take to a bridge and your guys at the bridge and you destroy the bridge and we kill thousands of well, I don't know if it's zombies or whatever it is, and we kill thousands at the same time. I think there's a lot of potential if there's a multiplayer, but again, I do like this type of worlds. But I do admit the zombie craze is over. If this was during a zombie craze, probably do much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's some other games that are coming out as well. For example, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader is also coming out. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising is also coming. House Flipper 2 is coming. There's some interesting games coming out in December. Burley, anything else that you want to add for December, what you're looking forward to?
Well, there's one game we'll be talking a little bit later that's coming in December, my pick of the week, Dragon Quest Monsters.
Yep.
I've got that on first.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Fubu, anything else you want to add for December?
No, I don't think there's anything special. I think this is the when it comes to marketing, it doesn't matter to market now or become more intensively marketing, because all the good games already came out, so they're gonna let all what they did during the year. They're gonna
all the good games they've already come out. The December games,
yeah.
they're second tier. We don't care about.
No, it's no, it's you know what I mean. You know what I mean. No, but I think this is the time that people will. They already did their job during the year, and they're gonna let everything pay off. Because I don't remember a AAA game coming out in December. I don't remember one, to be honest. I think it is a time.
Cyberpunk 2-3 years ago. That came out December 10th.
Yeah.
But was it a finished game? That's my question.
Oh no, that wasn't a finished game. You just said AAA game.
Yeah, it was a AAA game. Yeah.
No. I'm trying to spin it. I'm trying to spin it because
I know you're trying to spin it.
Yeah.
No. But I don't think about like the Grand Blue. If you were talking about the RPG Grand Blue, I would be much more interested. Grand Blue, like you mentioned, it is coming out in December. It is a beautiful game, but I'm not a fighter fan. I'm not the biggest fan. But I saw the trailer. The design is beautiful. But if it was the RPG that was supposed to release this year, but it's supposed to release next year, if we were talking about that one, I would be like, wow, I want to play that game so bad. But because it's a fighter, I'm much more interested in all the games that we mentioned. I'm much more interested in the day before. I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, well, hopefully it does, and I'm hoping the same for Avatar too. I'm looking forward to watching people to play it and to see if I might want to pick it up at some point as well. But December for me, I'll be playing a lot of Persona 5 Tactica, so I'll still be into Persona.
Well,
and,
the only big other one the biggest one I see that isn't mentioned on this is Baldur's Gate 3 coming to Xbox. That's coming in December. They don't have the exact date on like releases.com, but it is coming there. And that I can tell you from the few hours I have put in that game.
Yeah. Could you imagine if they throw that on Game Pass? Oh my goodness. Oh.
They won't.
Yeah. They won't. No, of course not.
Larian knows that game's worth money. How much?
Yeah,
it has printed. It has sold well.
If probably wasn't such a success like it has been, maybe they would do that. But
I think it'll be on Game Pass next year at some point. I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah, but just we'll see. And what other big surprises at the Game Awards that we're going to get? What other kind of trailers we might see? I think we're definitely going to see another Hellblade 2 trailer. We're going to see more of Star Wars Outlaws. I'm sure that's going to be big, early next year. as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing the new trailers. And will we get the Switch 2 announcement? Will they show the Switch 2 like they did the Xbox Series X before it released? I'm interested to see if Nintendo would actually, want to show something on the new Switch at the Game Awards as a big surprise to everybody. That'll be interesting.
Actually, it has a lot of potential now that you're mentioning it. There's a lot of potential for GTA. Might be one hell of a show.
GTA 6 on Switch 2.
No, put it on the original Switch. I don't think Rockstar would even want to be like, I want to degrade this game so badly.
Right. That ain't happening.
Or they're gonna have to make it more like some of those other games that did it, was like you don't actually get the game installed on your Switch. It's just a small client for you to down. You play basically online connection, or you can't play the game at all and stream it.
Or what they did with Hogwarts Legacy. You know what they did with the game. It's not an open world game anymore. Because when you can compare the PlayStation 5, obviously, but like when I go to Hogsmeade, you just land and you just walk in. If you do that on the Switch, you go to the entrance of Hogsmeade and it shows the button to prompt. You want to enter the city, and then you enter. So it's not an open world game anymore. So it's separated by areas, so it loads each area individually, unlike the PlayStation where it loads everything at once. So that's another change that since we're talking about that. And I want Henry Cavill to show up. Henry Cavill has to be in everything. Henry Cavill announcing Witcher 4.
That's not going to happen. I mean, it'd be the other Hemsworth brother that probably would do that.
No. I'm not talking about the series. I'm talking about the game itself. Netflix.
I know you're talking about the game, but if it's going to be one of the actors, obviously he's the one who is replacing Henry Cavill. But Henry Cavill's doing Warhammer now, so I mean maybe.
Okay, Henry Cavill can show up for the Warhammer.
There you go.
40, out now or whatever.
Right.
Henry Cavill is a geek like us, and he likes games, so I think it would be perfect. And he hasn't showed up yet.
Yeah, it hasn't showed up yet. We'll see, but we'll see. Who was it that came out last year? It was one of the big actors. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Al Pacino. Yeah, it's like Al Pacino. He comes out at the Game Awards. It's like he's like up there on stage, and he's like, I don't know what the hell goes on here, but here are the nominees. They
had him.
Yeah,
he was honest, and then they had for that crime game that came out earlier in the year. They had Michael Madsen, I think is his
right.
His
Michael
name.
Madsen was in it as well
from Reservoir Dogs and all those great Tarantino films.
Right. So I mean, bless him, but I mean, come on, get somebody up there like you're saying, Fubu, Henry Cavill, or somebody that knows something about video games, that actually plays video games and enjoys them, not just getting some big Hollywood actor up there because Jeff Keighley, obviously he wants the Game Awards to be like the Oscars, and then you get the guy from It Takes Two, the head of the studio coming up a couple of years ago, F the Oscars, half drunk, but I mean,
he wasn't half drunk.
He was
he's being nice. He's being nice.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what happens at the Game Awards. What people come up to present awards and everything else. But and the Kojima Watch, obviously, of course. So. All right. So that was our topic of the show. So hope you all are looking forward to December and what's going on in December in the video game world. So we will be bringing you all the news as it drops. All right. So now it's time to talk about our new game release picks of the week. Yes. So for this week, so the week of November 27th through December 3rd. So Burley, you are up first. What do you have for us?
So my pick of the week is Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince gives the player to power and command recruit various types of monsters to join them on an epic new adventure. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince features Sario, a demon prince whose curse prevents him from harming monsters. As a result, he must become a monster wrangler, recruiting and fighting alongside monsters through the various environments of fantastical world of Narnia. So, and it's this is a very long one, but it just cycles through. They're saying cycling through the different seasons and exploring the world. I've actually not really played in much of the Monsters series line for Dragon Quest. Like I played a little bit of the second game back on the Game Boy. So I knew someone that had it, and I played a little bit of it. So it's always something I played. And the nice thing is, months ago, they released the demo because this is only on the eShop on the Nintendo Switch coming Friday, December 1st. They did a demo, and it's one of the typical nice things with Square of the demo is a couple hours long, and it transfers into the main game.
Yeah.
So that way your progress gets transferred over in some of your monsters, which is nice. I always do love the monsters in the Dragon Quest series, and they're done by, for those that don't know, Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
The guy that you may know him for
Toriyama,
if you know Dragon Ball.
Yep.
You'll know him.
Yep. Yeah, looks fun. Kind of like Pokemon-esque in a way. Yeah.
Oh, this is Dragon Quest Pokemon is the easiest way to.
Right.
Yeah. I think this was inspired. I think it's in Dragon Quest 7 or 6. I don't remember which one, where you could capture the monsters and use them in an arena to fight. It's I'm blanking which. I think it's the Curse of
five. You have them with you because
the guy uses yellow
plays a
basically
kid.
in a bandana. No, he's not a kid. This is not the.
No, I'm saying like five. You play from as a kid to an adult, and I know you recruit monsters in your party the whole time. It might be 6. I have not played 6.
I think it might be 6. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
it's also might 6. I don't remember. But yeah, it's one of those. Oh, it's 8. Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, I'm seeing it here. Cursed King. Yeah,
that is a good one. But that one you do it for a side mode.
Yeah, and I remember that in 8 you could capture the monsters, like there were stronger monsters. You could capture them and then use them in an arena to it's Pokemon arena, I guess. So yeah, you could do that. I remember that
the arena.
Because the arena, yes. Right. Good job. Always. Anyway, yeah, that's it reminds me of that. It was something really good, but when the next game came out, I remember a lot of people were complaining that you couldn't capture monsters to do that, and it was a fan favorite thing on 8.
Yeah. Pre-orders are now available, so you go check that out. All right, it's time for my pick of the week. So my pick of the week is SteamWorld Build. In SteamWorld Build, you must escape a dying planet by building a mining town to dig up vital long-lost technology. Meet the ever-growing needs of your citizens, trade resources, and defend your mine from the creatures that lurk below. So coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on Friday, December 1st. So cool simulation, strategy, city builder. So who doesn't like being in like kind of an old West type of situation where your planet is dying and you have to build a huge mining town? It kind of reminds me of the game SteamWorld Dig. Remember that game, Burley? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see the SteamWorld Dig vibes from watching this trailer.
Oh yeah. So trading resources and then the creatures that lurk below. Yeah, looking forward to that. So good stuff. Yeah. So,
I'm remembering when I was younger, I used to play Transport Tycoon and Zoo Tycoon, where you have to do something similar. You have to start from small and keep growing. Yeah, it's giving me those vibes without monsters that I'm seeing now. But yeah, this looks like a really fun game. That's something that I would do. I would play just to something chill to relax. I really liked it. I liked it. It's a great pick. I really like it. I had no idea this was coming out. Looks really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like the puzzle, there's got to be puzzle elements to this as well. So, as well as building, as you can see here in the trailer, I mean, for all of you video viewers, this huge mining town that you get to build. So it's like, keep on building. It's kind of like SteamWorld Winchester Mystery House. So, for those of you that don't know Winchester Mystery House, of course, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and in San Jose, California, which is close to San Francisco, there's a house called the Winchester Mystery House. Now, the Winchester family was the family that was responsible for creating the Winchester rifle, which was used in the 19th century to defeat the Native American tribes. And so Sarah Winchester, after her husband died, she freaked out and thought that the spirits of the Native Americans were going to come and curse her and haunt her. So she continued for over 30 years to build her house in San Jose, California. And this house, I think total, by the time she died, when they finally, the day she died, they stopped constructing, and there was like over 137 rooms in the house. Just a huge estate. And there's like trap doors throughout the house. There's like stairways that lead to nowhere, because she wanted this house to be built to fool the spirits, So, I mean, and so there was this commercial every time I would go to the drive-through theater with my father, like back in the 70s, at the drive-through. And it's like, the Winchester Mystery House, keep on building. So it's like, this mining town, just keep on building.
Keep on building, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I had no idea. Thank you for that. I've heard that because, I've heard about the Winchesters because of Supernatural, but I didn't knew about the
Oh, when I was in elementary school, our school, we went on a tour of the house, and it's a beautiful house. I mean, the Winchesters were very, very rich people. And I think it was President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, actually paid a visit to the house and the ballroom. I mean, it's an amazing place. I mean, it's a cool place to take a tour. So, it's good stuff. Yeah, we used to, my friends and I, when we were kids, when we went to the tour of the Winchester Mystery House, we'd be like, we'd be talking about it afterwards. It's like, yeah, if we stayed in there for the night, how many spirits would we run into? Things like that. So cool stuff. But and I think they made a film about Sarah Winchester also. I think it was on Netflix or something, on one of the streaming services. Yeah, it was titled Winchester, I think. But yeah, great stuff. All right, Fubu, you are up next. What do you got for us?
So I chose the Lost Legends of Redwall. Basically dive into a narrative-rich universe kindled by instance of Mossflower. The Scout anthology, unfurls as a structured action-adventure game narrated through a cohesive trilogy of acts. Embark on a transformative quest as Sophia or Liam, young mice propelled into an adventure to shield their homeland from the onslaught of merciless pirates. These savage sea rats threaten the serenity of Mossflower Wood, compelling the freshest members of the Lily Grove Scout Corps to rise to the occasion. Can they make it to Redwall Abbey and rescue their comrades before everything they hold dear slips away? If you follow my Platinum Hunters channel, you'll notice that I have a lot of games where I play as animals. One of the first games was Stray, then I have Man-Eater where you play as a shark. So I like to play as animals, and I really thought that this game looks cute. Unless you're afraid of rats. If you're afraid of rats, this is a horror game. But it is a fun game to play. You play it, as you can see, it's a bit isometric. It changes the perspective. There's puzzles. You have to defeat enemies. And I like the world itself. Like I said, one of the things that always attracts someone is the graphics. And I think it looks like a very, very cute game that you can play and just have a good time for Christmas time. You can play this with your family because it really shows it's a kid-friendly game. So,
Burnley, what was that? What was that PlayStation VR game that came out? It was called Moss, I think it was.
I think it was Moss, yeah.
Yeah, that
There's
had
Moss
the
1 and 1 and 2, the mouse with the sword and all that.
yeah. So in an isometric style, yeah. So interesting, yeah.
No,
Again, it comes out
the
on
art
December
style on
1st.
this really looks good.
Yeah.
I like the design. Like I can't play that at home because my mom's afraid of rats. See if she sees that she won't enter my room for days, I guess. But yeah, she that game looks really weird.
Yeah, good stuff. So those were our picks of the week for the week of November 27th through December 3rd. You can go, for all of you video viewers, the link is below there to releases.com. You can check out all the new game releases coming out this coming week and into the next month and beyond. So yeah, so for all of you audio listeners, it's releases.com. You can go and check out all the video game releases coming up. So good stuff. Yeah, so those were our picks of the week. So now it's time for programming notes. Of course, here on the Arena Productions, we have a lot of content, video game related, as we do here, as well as entertainment and pop culture related, content that we do. And I put up some new videos this past week, so please go and check them out. And one of them was on the Star Trek side of things. Do you know who this person is, Burley, in this picture?
No, I don't. I'll be honest.
No, this is Tawny Newsome. She plays Mariner. She's the voice actress for Mariner. Yeah. So she is actually on the writing side when it comes to the new Star Trek series that's coming out next year, Starfleet Academy. So she is one of the writers. So she is basically one of the first, actually the first of the actors that is actually going into the writing room and actually writing for episodes. And awesome. So she gave an interview about that, and it's really interesting. So please go and check out that video. I talked about the interview that she did. So yeah, Canon Cops Unleashed. So basically she's referring to how they're particularly sticking to a lot of the canon when it comes to Star Trek, when it comes to the Starfleet Academy series. So good stuff. I mean, Tawny Newsome, nice. Amazing person. I mean, she's by trade a comedian, and she's done writing for comedy, but this is the first time she's actually done stuff for drama as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So go and check out that one on the Star Trek side of things. And then I also did a video on The Boy and the Heron, Miyazaki Hayao's latest animation film. It came out here in Japan in July. I've already seen it. It's an amazing film. It's another, Miyazaki masterpiece, and it's coming out in December out in the West. And the English voice cast was announced, and so I did a video on that. So please go and check that out. So it's really, really good stuff there. And a really, really cool Netflix animated series that is near and dear to my heart because it deals with early Edo period Japan. Of course, the characters are fictional, but a lot of the things that happen in this series when it comes to society and particularly women, it's really, really well written, and it's really, really well done. The animation style is very beautiful. Blue Eye Samurai. I did a review of the first season that came out recently on Netflix. So please go and check out that video. It's really, really good. And Mizu, she's a great character. Of course, she's half white, half Japanese. And in early Edo period Japan, she would have been, basically seen as a demon, because foreigners at that time were expelled from Japan. Yeah, it's very, very good, well written. It kind of gave me Kill Bill vibes in a sense. Yeah, it's very, very well done. So please go ahead and check out that.
I have to say that I already saw it and I loved it. The only complaint, and I'm going to complain about this because I loved it so much. But when you told like last week it was a woman, it completely negates the effect of the last episode, because the first episode, the last part, because you see the first episode, you assume it's a man, and when it's the end of the episode, she shows up completely naked, and you're like, "Oh, that's a woman," but I already
No
knew
spoilers,
she was a
no
woman.
spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers,
Sorry.
please. No spoilers,
what?
please.
Yeah, still get him a
For those
strap.
of you who haven't seen it,
Mute,
please,
mute,
Fubu, don't
mute.
spoil it. Yeah.
No. What I'm just saying, it is
Yeah.
beautiful. It is beautiful. It is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Can't wait for the second season. And I have to say, thank you so much for suggesting that, Expat, because it was amazing. I wasn't expecting how good it is.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that we'll get an announcement soon for season 2 because, they really need to make another season of that. As well as we're going to be getting season 2 of Arcane next year too, which is of course the League of Legends inspired anime series. Season 1 was amazing. Looking forward to season 2. That should be coming out later next year as well. And of course, the Game Awards are on December 7th, and we're going to be doing our podcast in the upcoming week when the Game Awards come out. We will be, of course, recapping the awards and giving our reactions to them. So stay tuned for that. And some other upcoming content that we're doing, of course, season 2 review and discussion of Loki season 2. We're going to be bringing that out soon. So stay tuned for that. We're looking forward to doing that episode for our The Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena show. And then also on our The Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena show, we will be doing a review and discussion of the Marvels. So please go and check that out when it comes out. We're hoping to get it out in the next week or two. So yeah, a lot of content coming here to the Arena Productions, which is already out and upcoming. So please stay tuned for all of that. So good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, the flirking with the mask on. That's great. Yeah.
Kind of looks like Bane.
Yeah. Well, that was the implication of that type of mask. Yeah, to do that. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Before we end the episode, it's time to talk about what we're going to be playing this upcoming week. I'm going to continue with Gaiden, the man who erased his name from Ryuga Gotoku Studio, and I'm going to finish that up. And then I'm going to get into Persona 5 Tactico, like I was talking about at the beginning of the episode. So, Fubu, are you going to be playing more? Yeah, EAFC.
Besides the other two, but Final Fantasy, always assume that I'm playing EAFC and Ever Crisis. But the new one, I'm loving Final Fantasy 16. Burley already teased me because it gets better, it seems, and it's already so good.
You wait.
Yeah. Next week we'll talk more about this. But yeah, I'm loving Final Fantasy 16, and that's what I'm going to be focusing more this week.
Cool. All right. Burley, how about you?
Well, I'm hoping once I get the issue solved with my ISP and the roofing at my building, I'm hoping to start up on Monday, do Super Mario RPG remake. I really want to start that and continue more with Alan Wake 2.
Cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see your extra take on Alan Wake 2 and that type of gameplay and stuff. So how different it is from the first game. I'm looking forward to that. So all right. So to end our show, it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight. So each week we spotlight an indie recording artist, and we do an outro with music. So this week's spotlight is on Dono. Dono is a multi-genre electronic musician focusing on creating fun, danceable music. Constantly experimenting with diverse sounds and styles, his wide array of inspirations, including rock, heavy metal, minimal techno, glitch hop, trance, and more, from the title song of his album called To the Max. So this has been The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, episode 154. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Fubu87. We hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone, and have a great week of gaming, and enjoy the outro. Peace out.